For months, I worked with a mother who described the difficulties that she was having as she worked with her 17-year-old daughter, Elise, who was angry, moody, defiant, and disruptive to the entire family. In most families, that's just called being 17. If mom dared to impose a rule or a consequence, Elise would curse her and threaten to move out and be vile and obstructive. And gradually, mom learned how to find love for herself so that she was happy. And then she began to share that love with Elise, who badly needed it, while she also taught her the rules that accompany happy living. The road was bumpy, it almost always is, but Elise began to feel her mother's love, and she resisted being taught less and less. Now pay attention. Some of these individual lessons that you teach a child just seem agonizing because they fight you and they kick or they give you that blank look like, what's wrong with you? I've always gotten my way. Did you forget? Some individual days of teaching a principle may seem too hard. Well, you can go all the way through the end of teaching the lesson that day and do it several times in a row, after which the kid gets the lesson for the rest of their life or lives. Or you can keep teaching the lesson intermittently, nagging. You can turn life into a gamble. Much easier to consistently love and teach. And then the children begin to take the principles on themselves instead of simply seeing it as I'm being told what to do by my parent. The teaching of principles is infinitely superior. So one day, mom wrote me and described the family meeting they'd had the night before. She said that at the end of the meeting, without being prompted in any way, nobody knew she was going to do it. Elise stood up in the meeting and she spoke to her younger siblings. It was so remarkable, I kept it. She said, quote, I want to ask you guys something. Do you remember how bad I used to be? How mean and ugly and awful I was to be around? I used to be so unhappy, and I caused trouble in the family whenever I could. I started arguments. I bumped into you guys as I just walked by, and I never said I was sorry. I yelled at you. I used a lot of curse words. I was so angry all the time, and I blamed everybody else for how I felt. Everybody hated being around me like that. But I can feel that I've changed a lot inside. And I'm still working on it. And you like being around me more. The hardest thing was that I used to think Mama, her mother, wanted to change me into this cooperative little robot. And I hated that, hated the idea of being controlled. But then I began to see that she was actually caring about me and helping me see that what I was doing was hurting me. And she was right about my attitude and behaviors. They weren't good for me. They weren't good for my happiness. It is so hard to hear these things about yourself in the beginning. But as you learn to accept it bit by bit, you can shed the stuff that doesn't work. You're not changing who you really are. It's like you're becoming who you are. And that works a lot better. Remember, this is a 17-year-old who's saying this, not me. I'm quoting her. She continues. So if Mama tells you something about yourself, she's trying to help you. This kind of cracks me up because the way this kid used to be, it would be unimaginable that she could say these words. She continues and says, Mama sees you and cares about you, so listen to her. And the sooner you do, the easier it is and the happier it is for you. I like my life now. I used to hate my life. I didn't want to get up in the morning. Now I want to get up in the morning. I can't wait to enjoy the day. I like being loving and responsible. End quote. From a 17-year-old to the rest of the family. Elise experienced a real emotional and spiritual change, a conversion, if you like to use that word, so powerful that she couldn't stop herself from sharing it with the rest of the family. And it all happened because she chose to trust her mother. Didn't happen smoothly, didn't happen all at once. But her mother consistently loved and taught her. But it took both of them. It took Mom consistently loving and teaching, and it took Elise finally choosing to trust her. And they both kept going. Faith and persistence together produce a power that changes the world around us. We parents can all follow the example of this consistent mother. Our children can have this miracle of an experience that Elise talked about with the rest of her family. We can do this.